And I sat there for 2 hours. I took one strand of what is there on that mountain. You won't believe, in 2.5 hours, I was almost 10 to 15 years younger than what I was at that moment. People around me will vouch for it, how suddenly I'm a different man.
The scientific community is on edge right now as a drone captured something terrifying right above Mount Kailash. This mysterious mountain has always had strange happenings, from people vanishing and magnetic anomalies to strange sounds, lights and rock formations. But recently, a drone captured a strange phenomenon above the mountain. What was this? And how does it play in the general mystery of the mountain?
Mount Kailash has, as far as I know, two main significance. One is that the spiritual significance is that it is the abode of Chakra Samvara and Vajrayogini.
Drone captures something above Mount Kailash. High in the remote reaches of Tibet, Mount Kailash has always been more than just a mountain. Considered sacred by Hindus, Buddhist, Jains and followers of the Bon tradition, it's often described as the axis mundi, the spiritual center of the world. For centuries, pilgrims have circled its base, yet none have ever dared to climb its summit, as they believed that it was forbidden to human feet. Now, modern technology seems to have captured something extraordinary above this ancient peak. This drone captured something terrifying above Mount Kailash. The viral footage was taken by a drone and offers a sweeping aerial view of Mount Kailash. The first thing that the drone spotted while hovering over the mountain was its sheer presence, stark against the sky. But that was not enough. It's the atmosphere above the summit that captured the attention of many people. Suspended over the peak of the mountain, there were enormous lens-shaped formations. These were lenticular clouds that seemed to hover in layers, making the mountain look like it was crowned by a floating halo. There was also some mist swirling and bending over the mountain, adding to the surreal aura. What stirred the debate among many viewers was the fact that they all saw something different amid these shifting clouds and forms. In one segment of the video that the drone captured above Mount Kailash, there was a shape emerging, delicate and almost symmetrical. It moved with a suspicious, lifelike rhythm. Described by many as a flower-shaped butterfly, this apparition appears to flutter above the summit, lingering briefly before fading into the midst. Some also say that it's an optical illusion created by cloud movement and light. Others say that it is something beyond explanation. Another version of the footage that the drone captured was a luminous aura that seemed to radiate directly from the mountain's crown. The glow pulses softly, surrounding Mount Kailash with an almost cinematic brilliance. For viewers, this isn't a coincidence. There are many ancient texts and legends that describe the mountain as a divine seat of power, the dwelling place of gods, and even a hidden gateway to other realms. They argue that the drone footage might just be the first visual evidence of what sages and seekers have spoken of for millennia. Of course, many skeptics don't agree with what this drone footage seems to indicate. They explain that lenticular clouds usually form when moist air flows over a mountain, producing smooth lens-like shapes. The shifting light and the perspective of a drone camera can exaggerate these effects, creating patterns that look like figures or radiant auras. So, this butterfly might just be a coincidental symmetry in a passing cloud. Yet, many have long regarded Mount Kailash as sacred, and the footage is offering evidence of something terrifying. But this drone footage is just one of the most terrifying pieces of evidence that something strange is happening on Mount Kailash. As scientists and enthusiasts pay more attention to the drone footage, more evidence emerges, such as the widespread disappearances of pilgrims on the mountain, people vanishing on Mount Kailash. Countless pilgrims have attempted to climb Mount Kailash. They embark on the sacred circumambulation, the Kora, with each step echoing centuries of devotion and awe. But amidst all these chants and silent prayers, there's a legend which comes with a lot of evidence. Many travellers vanish along the Kora, and no one knows where they go on the mountain. Accounts have revealed that pilgrims who set out from Darchen to Mount Kailash usually disappear without a trade. Whenever search parties are sent to figure out what happened to them, they usually find nothing. Not even a footprint or any other signs that there was someone there. Such vanishings defy rational explanation, and so many are convinced that the truth is hidden on Mount Kailash. Yet no one can find out the truth, because there's no telling if they can come back after climbing the mountain. Mount Kailash isn't an ordinary mountain. It has a merciless terrain, with sharp crevices, sudden storms, and some perilous passes that strike fear into experienced trekkers. The Kora itself, 52 kilometers of high-altitude wilderness, tests those who climb the mountain even more. Of course, it seems like they might be disappearing because of sheer exhaustion, altitude sickness, and hidden precipices. Of course, modern trekkers who have gone close to the mountain but gave up have warned of the serious dangers related to the elevated altitude, as acute mountain sickness, high-altitude pulmonary edema, and cerebral edema can happen suddenly. But among the believers, there's another explanation that carries more weight. Climbers might be disappearing on this mountain, not because of the physical challenges, but also due to the spiritual significance. Some laws say that Kailash might transform those deemed unworthy to realms beyond our own, so they aren't vanishing by accident, but by divine will. In Tibetan and Hindu myth, Kailash stands as the abode of Shiva, which is the cosmic axis where mortal aspirations meet divine intent. So these vanishings, to believers, might not be tragedies, but more like transcendences. There have been some tales of shocking disappearances. One Siberian expedition revealed that the climbers confronted inexplicable aging. All the members returned prematurely older and a few steps away from death, not surviving the year that followed. Even stranger, there have been stories of magnetic anomalies, like compasses spinning wildly, electronics failing, and people's senses distorted when they go further on the mountain. Magnetic anomalies. Mount Kailash continues to defy earthly logic in the remote Tibetan plateau. Pilgrims and trekkers have frequently reported that when they take compasses, they're always spinning chaotically or pointing nowhere. Also, GPS devices constantly falter, and smartphones glitch in the mountain's shadow. Scientists have had some ideas on what is causing this. They say that there are unusual concentrations of minerals like magnetite or quartz on the mountain, which causes local geomagnetic disturbances. But these explanations are only a tip of the iceberg. There's also an argument that there's something terrifying above Mount Kailash, an energy vortex, which is a spiritual epicenter radiating electromagnetic forces that transcend terrestrial reason. This suspends belief in the mundane and elevates the mountain into something more metaphysical. Mount Kailash has been called the Axis Mundi, a cosmic junction where the Earth's veil grows thin and spiritual currents converge. In this light, its magnetic peculiarities are a sign that something strange is happening on this mountain. The magnetic anomalies don't only affect devices like compasses and smartphones, but also people. Those who climb the mountain usually recount dizziness, mental clarity plunging into dreamlike states, or emotional shifts that are so profound that they question their own perception of self and space. It's like the mountain affects the visitor's consciousness. As the drone captured something terrifying above Mount Kailash, there are many legends related to the mountain, and no one knows what's true and what's false. Legends on the mountain. Mount Kailash isn't just a mountain, but for many people, it's a living legend. It has been revered across faiths and cultures as the axis of the universe. In Hindu cosmology, Kailash has been identified with Mount Meru, which is a sacred pillar at the world's center. It has 4 divine faces of crystal, ruby, gold, and lapis lazuli. It's usually considered as the eternal abode of Lord Shiva, the Adi Yogi, seated in serene meditation with Parvati, while their sons, Ganesha and Kartikeya, stand ready at his side. According to legends, in the epic Ramayana, The demon king Ravana once attempted to uproot Kailash in a show of arrogance, but was forced to bow before Shiva. He pressed the mountain down upon him until he sang hymns for 1,000 years. There are many who have beliefs in Mount Kailash. The Buddhists embrace it as a spiritual fulcrum. The Vajrayana Buddhists say that it's the home of Demchok, the deity of supreme bliss, and they celebrate the legend of the master Milarepa. In Jain tradition, Kailash is viewed as the sacred ground where Rishabhadeva, the first Tirthankara, attained liberation. It anchors the mountain in the pursuit of spiritual ascension. The Bon religion isn't left behind, seeing Kailash as the axis mundi tied to goddess Sipaiman. Because of all these legends, it's easy to suspect that something is off, especially after the drone captured something terrifying above Mount Kailash. Combine this video evidence with the magnetic anomalies and sudden disappearances of climbers and pilgrims, and it seems like all the pieces are coming together. These aren't the only pieces of evidence that scientists have discovered. Did you know that the snowcap on Kailash just refuses to melt? Unmelting snowcap. Mount Kailash rises to an elevation of 21,778 feet, and it remains veiled in snow all year round. Even if the neighbouring peaks shed their icy peaks in warmer seasons, the mountain still has a solid peak of ice. This enduring snowcap defies expectations and explanations, causing a lot of questions about the mountain from scientists and believers. At such an extreme altitude, the mountain's daytime temperatures hardly ever rise above freezing, so this stops it from melting during the summer months. Kailash has a weird microclimate and is isolated from the monsoon's full force. It's blessed with arid, clear skies, and so the mountain accumulates high-altitude snowfall that is compacted into a reflective ice layer that's resistant to melting. Local pilgrims and guides usually describe the mountain's snowcap as unchangeable, and they say this is a sign of purity and eternal truth. In the spiritual lore, the Sanskrit name Kailasa means crystal, and it hints at this clarity and permanence. This reinforces the mountain's role as a divine emblem. Many hymns even revolve around the mountain's glittering summit, which is a symbol of immovable sanctity. This is pretty unscientific, but many interpret the perpetual snow on the mountain's peak as evidence of a self-regulating phenomenon at work within the mountain itself. It's something beyond the ordinary climate dynamics. Whether it's because of the high altitude, its significance in purity, or the self-regulating phenomenon, it doesn't change the fact that the mountain has remained an exception despite all the challenges of climate change. It seems like the snow on the mountain will remain there forever. Aside from being worried about the unmelting snowcap, the strange sounds and lights on Mount Kailash are still a bit worrying. Strange sounds and lights. In the remote arid plains and dunes around Mount Kailash, travellers have reported an eerie hum, a low melodic resonance that seems to come from the sand itself. These singing sands are a real natural phenomenon, occurring in certain desert dunes when wind or movement causes the uniform, silica-rich sand grains to vibrate in harmonious frequencies. Sometimes they produce booming sounds, but others are whistling sounds. There are no confirmed recordings of these strange sounds on Mount Kailash. So many wonder if they will ever hear these acoustics. Scientists will simply say that the sounds in the plains are dunes of geological oddities. But the locals and pilgrims have another explanation, as they say that the dunes sing under specific conditions. It's an expression of the mountain's spiritual energy, a cosmic murmur that resonates with the sacred terrain. Mount Kailash's snow-capped peak changes in its colours throughout the day, another shocking aspect of the mountain that attracts legends and different explanations. The peak's colour shifts through hues of gold, pink, or purple. Scientifically, this is explained as a natural effect of the interplay between sunlight and the mountain's snow and rock surfaces. The colours are especially pronounced during sunrise or sunset. Some have witnessed the mountain turning a brilliant gold at dawn or dusk. This phenomenon is so striking that it has earned names like Golden Kailash, and it is said to have a spiritual relevance. In devotional traditions, This dynamic display is seen not merely as atmospheric trickery, but as the mountain revealing its sacred visage to those whose hearts are open. As they walk past the dunes and plains of the mountain, some have also seen a giant footprint, which means there's something even worse happening under the mountain. After the drone captured something terrifying above it. Giant footprint. Aside from the strange formations that the drone captured above Mount Kailash, some other drones and cameras have taken a photo of something shocking. In the terrain near the mountain lies a remarkable natural rock formation which closely resembles a giant footprint. For the Hindus, this isn't an intriguing geological oddity, but it's revered as the sacred footprint of Lord Shiva himself. The sight of this giant footprint reveals some spiritual reflections, and also builds the belief of Shiva in the region. The footprint-like mark has also become a powerful symbol, especially for pilgrims who go to Kora around Mount Kailash. To them, it seems like a tangible connection to the divine and a physical manifestation that they are walking in the footsteps of their gods. From a scientific standpoint, it seems like the footprint was accidentally made by natural erosion, weathering, and rock formation processes that have shaped the land over the centuries. These geological forces usually end up crafting shapes and patterns that the human mind interprets as meaningful symbols. Whether it's seen as a mark left by the cosmic dancer or a quirk of geology, the giant footprint has been enchanting devotees and curious observers. It shows the connection between nature and spirituality in Mount Kailash. As the drone explored the areas around the mountain, it also extended to the lakes, and this was discovered to represent yin and yang. Lakes of yin and yang. As the drone captured something terrifying above Mount Kailash, it went towards the right, discovering twin lakes called Lake Manasarovar and Rakshas Tal. The first river is clear and bright, while the second is darker and saline. The two colours embody the balance of yin and yang. Lake Manasarovar, often called the mirror of heaven, is round like the sun and revered across Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and the Bon tradition. Its crystal clear waters are believed to bestow purity and spiritual renewal. Pilgrims bathe here to cleanse the soul and draw healing and divine connection from its shores. Beside it lies Rakshas Tal, a crescent-formed saline lake often described as the Lake of Demons. Its name evokes the demon king Ravana, who, according to Hindu legend, created this lake through intense penance to win Shiva's favour. Lacking aquatic life and viewed as toxic or inauspicious, it stands in stark contrast to the life-affirming waters of Manasarovar. Buddhist tradition reinforces this duality. Manasarovar symbolises brightness, purity, and life, while Rakshas Tal embodies darkness and destruction. Together, they illustrate the universal balance of light and shadow. Meanwhile, there's a natural channel between them that connects the two lakes. It's sometimes viewed as a bridge weaving opposites into unity. While one lake invites purification and spiritual awakening, the other is a reminder of shadows and challenges. Their proximity to Mount Kailash is even more mysterious. But these strange rivers are not the only spots close to Mount Kailash. There are also some unexplored caves, which the drone captured, showing some terrifying evidence. Unexplored caves. The slopes around Mount Kailash are dotted with numerous caves, with the natural chambers whose depths remain largely unexplored. This has led to a lot of mystery surrounding what's hidden around the mountain. These caves have caused a lot of legends too. Stories say that some caves are the hiding places of mythical beings, yetis or kinnaras, the celestial musicians of lore, waiting in shadow to enchant travellers with haunting melodies. According to ancient Hindu mythology, Guyakas, the hidden attendants of Kubera, are believed to dwell in mountain caves, guarding treasure and mysteries beyond our understanding. Some of the most intriguing of these are the Saptarishi caves, perched at an elevation of nearly 6,000 metres along the challenging Inner Kora trek. These caves are believed to accommodate the legendary 7 sages, Saptarishis, each associated with an elemental force. A vertical ascent and delicate passage shield these caves from easy access, amplifying their mystique. Tibet's spiritual tradition speaks of Baal, which are secret valleys hidden behind natural barriers, revealed only to the truly pure in heart. Guarded by deities and nature's camouflage, these sanctuaries may lie concealed within spoken-of caves. One belief envisions Shambhala that's accessible via secret subterranean pathways beneath Kailash. Some of these caves have formed strange rock formations and patterns near Mount Kailash, another terrifying thing that the drone has captured. These formations and patterns seem to mean something, but scientists can't figure out what they mean. Strange rock formations and patterns. Mount Kailash's imposing geology has long inspired speculation about hidden meanings carved by time or by intelligence. Some researchers and mystics suggest that certain naturally occurring lines, grooves and symmetries in the rock face resemble deliberate symbols or a forgotten language waiting to be decrypted. One frequently discussed phenomenon is the swastika-shaped shadow that appears at sunset on the mountain's southern slopes. This is an emblem associated with auspiciousness in Hinduism and Buddhism. The symbol emerges from intersecting rock ridges, accentuated by shifting light and shadow, prompting both spiritual reverence and questions of whether there was intentional design behind the geology. Another theory contends that the mountain's near-perfect pyramidal geometry, with 4 faces closely aligned to the cardinal directions, is beyond the scope of natural erosion. Some proponents suggest it may be a relic of advanced, ancient engineering, or even extraterrestrial creation, forming a kind of symbolic or energetic language etched into the Earth's surface. What do you think is happening on this mountain? Let's know your thoughts in the comments. So, thanks for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.